Hey guys, welcome back. Today's session, my name is Alex and I'm going to be guiding you in this practice. Today's session is going to be focusing on a type of yoga that is really structured and catered for trauma. It's not a typical vinyasa class that you may be used to going to, but trauma is something that I would say most people experience. The levels and the intensity of the trauma obviously will vary person to person, but each person's trauma is their own. And it causes a ripple inside of the body that places into the body disease. And it can often be very intimidating, frightening, and very stressful for people to open their body up to these different positions, allowing for that healing to begin. So this is going to be about an hour long, maybe a little bit more, and really just targeting on moving through the asanas, but moving through them in a way that suits you, and also moving through them slowly so that you really kind of embrace the position and allow that position to then stimulate different parts of your body. It's going to be a lot of opening in the joints, releasing kind of tension in our shoulders and hips. We hold a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety in our hips. So if at any point during this practice you feel uncomfortable or something is triggering to you, you can always come to a child's pose, which just looks like this, extending your knees to the width of the mat and coming and reaching your arms out in front of you. And you can stay here, or maybe if the arms outstretched is too much, you can just kind of fold through and drop your arms down. And if that's too much for you as well, you can always just come back to a seated position and work on connecting with your breath. We're really going to focus heavily on our inhalations and our exhalations, and just seeing what the process and the cycle of the breath does for our body. When you're able to connect your breath, your pranayama, to your practice, it becomes a very fluid movement. And breath is really important, pranayama is really important, because it allows different types of energy into the body that is healing to us. So for targeting, a yoga-informed asana practice, it's only going to help kind of heal that disease that we hold inside the body. And I thought it would be appropriate today to focus on the solar plexus chakra, which sits right here. The color is yellow, and it's just kind of good to focus on this because it's trying to promote, that self-love, that self-identity, and like what we hold as an individual, maybe trying to let go of anything that scares us, intimidates us, maybe is holding a little depression or anxiety over our heads, and just allowing us to stimulate, some positivity in our own self. So we're just going to begin by sitting in a nice, comfortable seated position. And I invite you to place one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly. And we're just going to close our eyes. And we're going to stay here for about 5 minutes. And I just want us to really focus on the breath. See how it feels entering your body as well as leaving your body. We're going to breathe in through the nose for a 4 count. We're going to pause at the top, and we're going to exhale for a 6 count. So I'm going to guide you through the first few rounds, and then after that, I'm going to have you work for a few minutes at your own pace, keeping your eyes closed and mentally counting to yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, taking a pause and exhaling for a 6 count, just to really feel what the breath is, how it's entering your body, and how it makes you feel as a whole. So when you're ready, just kind of settling into place, maybe moving any flesh off your sits bones that's making you slightly uncomfortable. If you want, you can also place a blanket underneath of your sits bones if you want a little bit more support. But when you're ready, placing one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly, the abdomen, and just really kind of coming into this space. quieting our minds. We're going to inhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause at the top. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Keeping your eyes closed, continue this breath work for the next few minutes quietly to yourself. Taking 2 more rounds quietly to yourself. On the next inhale, gently releasing your hands to your knees or even to your side. And just lightly opening up your eyes, maybe taking a couple of neck rolls or moving your neck back and forth just to bring some movement back into the body, grounding yourself into this space. We're going to move now into some side stretching. So when you're ready, inhaling those arms up, exhaling, turning to the right and twisting open, grabbing your left hand with your right knee. Just staying here, focusing on your breath, feeling those inhales and those exhales. On the next inhale, raising those arms back up and exhaling to the left, grabbing your left knee with your right arm, extending your left hand behind your base, allowing your body to turn for a deeper twist. Tuck in the lower belly and look over your shoulder. On the inhale, coming back to center, dropping our arms down, inhaling through our nose, pausing at the top, and exhaling through our mouth. Inhale, raise those arms up. We're going to do this sequence again. So on the exhale, twisting over to the right, looking over top of that right shoulder, maybe tucking in the lower belly to get a little bit deeper this time into the twist. And breathing. On the next inhale, raising those arms up. Exhaling, twisting to the left. And again, if you can feel your body twisting a little bit deeper, tucking in that lower belly, keeping that spine nice and straight. Just continue to make sure that you're breathing and not locking your breath. On an inhale, lifting those arms up and exhaling them down to our side, palms touching the floor. We're going to take 2 cleansing breaths here. So you're going to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, just letting go of any tension that no longer serves us. So when you're ready, deep inhale in and exhale. Feeling that nice release. One more time, inhale in and exhale out. Your body should start to feel a little bit lighter. We're going to keep our hands either side on our sides, left on the left, right on the right, kind of grounding into the floor. Or if this isn't comfortable for you, you can just hold your knees. But we're just going to take some body circles, staying in the seated position. So on an inhale, we're going to move to the left and kind of just shift our body around. Take this at your own pace 3 times in each direction. And making sure to connect your breath with each rotation. Coming back to a neutral state to take a pause. Breathing in 1 full round of breaths before moving over to the clockwise formation. And when you're ready, circulating back in the opposite direction 3 times. Moving at your own pace. When you're finished, coming back to that neutral spine. And again, taking in a nice deep inhale. And exhale, release. On the next inhale, raise that right arm up. Take our forearm to the mat, or if this is too much, maybe just taking your right arm out and maybe bending into that right arm. And see if you, keeping your sits bone firmly planted on the mat, taking a nice side stretch to the right. Really opening up that chest, giving a nice twist into the upper body, and breathing. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. And on the exhale, rising back up, dropping that left hand down. On the next inhale, raising that right arm up and dropping the left, maybe all the way to the forearm. But we want to make sure our sits bones stay firmly planted on the mat and reaching that right hand over, keeping our chest open to the ceiling, seeing how far you can take this, and breathing. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, maybe twisting open a little bit more, and exhale. Inhale, and on the exhale, coming back up, we're going to take this one more time on each side. So when you're ready, inhaling that left arm up, and exhaling our breath. Inhale and exhale. See if you can get a little bit more open. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Coming back up, rotating sides. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Twisting open a little bit more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Coming back up to center, grounding those hands down. Placing those hands on the knees and then slowly walking those fingertips out in front of you for a forward fold, kind of over top of our seated legs. And just stay here for 3 rounds of breaths. The next inhale, walking those hands back up in front of us. Take your feet and take the soles and connect them together for a nice butterfly position. You can even open those toes up like you're reading a book if you want to get a little bit deeper into the hips, allowing those knees to just drop to the side. And with a nice straight back, we're going to continue just breathing here for a few moments. Inhale, pausing at the top, and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, nice straight back, and exhale. See if you can fold forward, connecting your chest to your feet, however deep you can go, just staying here for 2 full rounds of breaths, keeping the neck nice and long. On the exhale, coming back up and moving into tabletop position. We're going to take a couple rounds of cat-cow. And what you want to do is come into tabletop with a nice flat back. Your neck should be nice and long, not arched up here, or the belly's not dropped. We want to just start in a nice neutral position, straight spine. Our hands, arms, knees, and legs should all be in line with our shoulders and hips, evenly distributed on the mat. Hands and arms should be shoulder width distance apart. Knees and legs should be hips width distance apart. And we're going to begin by dropping our belly and arching our spine, looking our gaze up to the ceiling for cow, taking an inhale. And then on the exhale, rotating this in the opposite direction by bringing our spine up to the ceiling, tucking our chin into our chest. And then flowing through this posture on your own, at your own pace for the next couple minutes. And even try to go just a little bit slower, really feeling the way that your spine rotates back and forth and connecting that movement with the breath. Taking 2 more rounds. And when you're done, coming back to a neutral spine. We're going to begin by doing some leg and arm lifting movements. We're going to start with our right leg. So when you're ready, inhale that right leg nice and straight, keeping the right foot flexed. The left leg should be underneath of our left hip. Don't lean to the left or lean too far to the right. And just hold this here for 2 breaths. If you feel up to it, See if you can lift up the left arm. You still want to keep your neck nice and long, head, top of the crown pulling towards the wall in front of you. And just hold this here, keeping a nice T in the body, lifting both ends up and breathing. Staying here for one more round of breaths. And when you're ready, on the exhale, dropping the left arm to the mat and the right knee back down to the mat. We're going to take this on the left side. So when you're ready, inhale that left leg up, keeping that left foot nice and flexed. Staying here for 2 full rounds of breaths. And when you're ready, if you're ready, lifting that right arm out in front of us and just holding this here for a few breaths. Lifting both arm and left leg up into a nice T formation, keeping that neck nice and long. And on the exhale, dropping that right hand back down to the ground as well as the left knee. We're going to do this again, but this time we're going to incorporate a little bit of movement with our breath work. So when you're ready, inhaling that right leg up, inhaling our left arm up. Pausing here for a full round of breaths. On the next inhale, we're going to connect our elbow to our knee. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Taking 3 more rounds. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Holding this here for 2 more breaths. And on the exhale, dropping our hand and our knee back down to the mat. Taking this round on the left side. So when you're ready, inhaling that left foot out, flexing the foot, heels kind of going to the back wall, right arm comes up, staying here for a full round of breaths. On the next inhale, connecting our knee to our elbow, tucking it in and exhaling, pushing back out. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. 3 more rounds. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, holding it here for 2 full rounds of breaths. And on the exhale, dropping our right hand and knee back to the ground. We're gonna come back into a child's pose, but instead of extending our arms this time, we're gonna keep our arms down towards our side. So you can take the knees to the width of the mat, or if you want a little bit more of a condensed child's pose, just kind of bring them in a little bit closer to each other. Gently bring your head down to the mat and just rest your arms on either side. We're going to stay here for a few moments, just continuing to focus on your breath. On the next inhale, placing your hands on either side of your head and just kind of lifting yourself up. We're gonna move into puppy's pose, and this is an activating position for our chest. It opens up our arms as well. When we move into this, if it's too stimulating, just kind of relax how deep you're pushing yourself into the pose. Maybe come back a little bit, and I'm just gonna show you how to get into this. So we come to tabletop. It's very similar to a child's pose, except we're gonna keep our bottom straight up in the air instead of resting down on our feet. But our arms are gonna walk out in front of us. And the goal is to try to get the chest as close to the ground as you can. But if this is too much and triggering too much of your body with the sensations, maybe just walk your hands back a little bit and kind of lean back into your hips until you gain the flexibility to really let go and drop that chest flat to the mat. We don't want to overdo it. We don't want to push our body. So if it's too triggering or stimulating, just kind of give yourself a little bit of a break. And then maybe over time, you can get yourself deeper into the pose and really relax and let go. So when you're ready, just walking those hands out as far as you can. If you are able to, maybe drop your chin to the mat. And just continue to stay here and focus on your breath, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Thinking about the breath work quietly to yourself for the next few moments. On the next inhale, lift your upper body up and kind of flow through until you come down to your stomach. You can lower all the way down, dropping your forehead to the mat, keeping your arms where they're at for now, straight by your shoulders. Just take a moment here, breathing in and exhaling, trying to reset the body. On the next inhale, we're going to lift our chest up, move our hands a little bit out in front of us so that our arms are parallel from one another, and just lifting our chest up, keeping our gaze to the wall in front of us. We're going to stay here in Sphinx pose for a few rounds of breaths. This is an activating back bend, opening up our back. It's also a nice position to activate the shoulders, relaxing the legs. But again, we're trying to open up that solar plexus chakra, right? And channeling that yellow color. So our belly is touching the mat, and we want to try to see if we can get our chest as open as we can. So with the last pose and this one, we're really starting to activate those channels inside of our body. Breathing in and exhaling. Inhale and exhale, taking a few rounds quietly to yourself. On the next inhale, lowering your chest down, planting your hands underneath of your shoulders, tucking those toes, maybe bending the knees subtly, and pushing back up to our first downward facing dog. And take any movements here that you need to get adjusted or settle into the pose. And once you're ready, maybe lifting those toes up and then dropping those heels back down, maybe inhaling on those toes and exhaling the heels back down, maybe bending the knees one at a time, maybe rotating our ankles right to left. Whatever movements you need in order to get yourself in this position, keeping your hips nice and high, pushing your legs towards the back of the wall, bringing your chest closer to your stomach, and just stay here for 3 full rounds of breaths. On an inhale, lifting that right leg up, opening up the hips, keeping our shoulders and chest in a neutral straight position, just kind of activating our leg. You can bend it, maybe open up a little bit more, and then straighten this leg and just hold it here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And on the next inhale, bending in almost into a cheetah pose, bringing that knee into the chest. And then we're going to plant the foot in front of us, moving into a crescent lunge. And we're just going to hold this here. Staying in a low runner's lunge, low crescent. Just staying in this posture and breathing into this position. On an inhale, taking that left foot and bringing it up to meet the front and just folding forward. We're gonna hang here for a few rounds of breaths. Dropping the head, keeping it nice and loose. If you need to, you can sway back and forth in a ragdoll position. But when you're ready, coming back to the forward fold and just staying here for a few moments. On an inhale, coming to a nice halfway lift with a flat back, keeping our neck nice and long, crown of the head reaching towards the wall in front of us. And exhale, folding forward, dropping those hands to the mat and kicking those legs back to a downward facing dog. Staying here for a full round of breaths. And on the inhale, lifting that left leg up this time, nice and straight, maybe opening up the hip, dropping the left knee, keeping the shoulders and the chest aligned with the mat in front of us. Bringing that left leg back to a straight position and staying here for 2 full rounds of breaths. On the inhale, moving into that cheetah pose, dropping that left foot on the mat, coming into a low lunge, low runner's lunge or low crescent lunge, lifting our right foot off the back onto the balls of our feet and just staying here, keeping the neck long and breathing into this position. On the inhale, bringing that back leg up to meet the front and folding forward, staying here for a few moments, maybe taking a twist, maybe taking our hands, clasping them behind our back and rinsing our shoulders, allowing our chest to get closer to the tops of our thighs, and breathing. On the exhale, dropping our hands to the mat, inhaling up for halfway lift, staying here for a full round of breaths, keeping the neck nice and straight, top of the crown, reaching out in front of us. On the exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up to Tadasana pose, meeting the hands over top and bringing them back down through center and gently letting them go on either side. We're just gonna stay here in Tadasana, maybe closing your eyes, planting those feet firmly into the ground so that you find balance in the center of your soles. Not too much in the heels and not too much in the toes. And just taking in a few breaths. Maybe gently opening up the eyes and coming to the center of your mat. We're going to begin by moving into some balance postures here. So we're going to begin by taking a chair pose. So what I invite you to do is bringing those toes connecting together, maybe heels slightly apart, and just lower down into your seat, lifting those hands up. Chest and head are open up towards the sky. Hands are facing the center towards each other. And just holding this here, really pushing into those knees and those thighs to activate our legs and getting us deeper into this posture. And on an inhale, standing up, we're going to take our right hand. I'm going to face the center so you guys can see this. We're going to take our right hand and sweep it underneath of our left, moving into eagle pose. We're going to take our right leg, rounding down into the left leg, and wrap our left foot, or wrap our right foot over top of our left, seeing if you can take your foot and wrap it around that left shin, moving those elbows up towards your chin, and staying here for 3 breaths. Seeing if each inhale you can lower down just another inch. On the next inhale, releasing those arms, coming and keeping that right leg up. We're gonna move into a warrior 3 or an airplane pose, whichever is more comfortable for you to take. So lifting that right leg up, you can drop the arms to your side and just begin to kick that right leg back. Maybe in the beginning, keeping your arms by your sides. And when you find more balance, extending them forward, kicking through to that heel for warrior 3. And on an inhale, coming back up to Tadasana, dropping our foot and lowering our hands to our sides. Staying here for a breath. Inhaling those arms up. Exhaling, wrapping the left arm this time underneath of the right, lifting that left leg over top of our right. Seeing if we can get our left top of the foot to wrap behind our right shin, lifting those elbows up and coming down into our seat, staying here for 3 breaths. And maybe with each inhale, you sit a little bit lower. On the next inhale, keeping that left knee up. I'm going to switch sides so you can see this. Letting the bind in our hands go, maybe dropping the hands to our sides. For now, rooting into that right leg, kicking with our heel to extend our leg, left leg out for warrior 3. And when you're ready and finding balance, maybe lifting those arms out in front of you, kicking through your heel, holding it here. And then when you're ready, coming back up and dropping your foot, taking a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhaling your arms up and exhale, forward fold. Staying in the forward fold for just a few moments. Inhale, halfway lift, night flat back, crown of the head, reaching towards the wall in front of us. Exhale, planting the hands into the ground, keeping the right leg in between our hands and dropping the left foot back into that low lunge. We're going to lift up into a crescent lunge. Arms are facing each other. Left leg is nice and straight. 90-degree bend in the front. And on an inhale, we're going to drop the right hand to the outside of our foot and just shift our left leg back, opening up to extended side angle. Holding this here for a breath. On the exhale, coming back to the center. This time rotating our right hand up, left foot down. Staying here. Exhaling both hands to the floor, stepping back into a plank, and then pushing ourselves back up for downward facing dog. Staying here for 2 breaths. Walking those feet up to meet our hands as slow as you need. Coming into that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, staying for a full breath. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling the right foot back this time, coming into that low lunge and staying here for a full breath. Inhaling, rise up to crescent lunge. Breathing, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale the hands down, keeping the left hand planted into the ground, dropping that right foot so that it's parallel with the mat, and reaching that right hand up for extended side angle. Exhaling the right hand down, lifting that back foot up into a runner's lunge, and then rotating the left hand up, staying here and twisting open. Exhaling that left hand down, moving back into plank, and then pushing back up into downward facing dog. Staying here for a few more breaths. On the next inhale, dropping our knees to the mat and coming back onto our base the way that we started. We're going to close this practice out the same way we came in, placing one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly. Keeping our eyes closed, feeling the release and the renewed energy that has entered our body and the negative energy we no longer need leaving the body. Feeling the rise and fall of our chest and the rise and fall of our bellies. We're going to end class with 3 cleansing breaths. So you will breathe in through your nose and then open up your mouth, maybe sticking your tongue out for a lion's breath and exhaling all that energy we no longer need. So when you're ready, deep inhale in and exhale out. Inhale in and exhale out. One final round of breaths. Inhale in and exhale, release. Bringing your hands together, bringing them into the chest. Bowing our head to seal this practice. Just taking a moment here to acknowledge this renewed energy, this release of stress and anxiety, connecting our breath to different movements, and building strength in our body that allowed us to focus, maintain, and breathe. Bringing your hands to third eye center. I hope this practice provided you an opening and a release, tapping into what your potentials are, seeing the limits that you can push in your body, and letting go of any negative energy that holds you down or prevents you from moving forward. Sealing this practice today, namaste. Thanks everyone. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Feel free to come back for more vinyasa practices with me and different types of exploration into the avenues of yoga. I wish you all a great rest of the day and a happy week. See you later.